So there you go, guys. Welcome to each and every one of you watching from different parts of the world. So anyway, guys, my name's Coach Van, and you have also Coach Chad over here. So we call ourselves coaches because we just coach people with the path that they want to go, especially financially, right? So in here, guys, I just want to ask you a very simple request. Maybe we could just have mute ourselves just so we could focus on the discussion tonight. And secondly, as well, I want you guys to have an open mind. Okay, why? Because the only thing for you to learn something new, a new skill, a new knowledge, a new information is to have an open mind. Same like when you're using a parachute, you couldn't make a parachute work without opening it, right? So um, and lastly, and lastly as well is that um, everything that you learn in here, go back to the person who's invited you tonight. Okay, so let's bring it on. So just before I start, like what Coach Chad was saying, we modified a bit of our presentation so people can be able to understand because our core is already technical, right? So we wanted to keep it simple. We want to dummy it down, right? So just a bit of disclaimer here because we're talking about finances, we're talking about money. We want to mention that we do not provide any financial or investment advice. All content shared is for education and idea sharing only. Trading involves risk, and you should only trade the money you're willing to lose. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes, and income depends on market conditions and volatility. So by participating, you accept full responsibility for your trading decisions, which means, guys, you got to do your due diligence, okay? But tonight we will give you that information as well. So before I start, I want to ask you this three powerful questions to think about, in which most of my mentors have asked this when I started in the beginning. Number one is, do you have a side income or a side hustle right now? Why? Why not? Right? You know how the world works right now. You can't just rely on a single or linear job, right? If yes, you do have multiple streams of income, that's great. Why not create more? Create more assets, create more cash flows, right? And they said an average millionaire has at least seven income streams. So if you don't have one, what if you lose your ability to earn tomorrow? May it be you might be replaced by AI, may it be that your company doesn't need us anymore, may it be, knock on wood, might be you might have had an accident or stuff like that. Just any case or any situation that we may lose our job, what if we lose our the way how we earn tomorrow? How long can we survive financially? For me back then, guys, almost 6 weeks ago, almost fifty days ago, not if I meant if I haven't met Vlad and also Chad, I wouldn't be here right in front of you guys. Um, so basically, I was only relying on a job. I'm a nurse by profession, but I used to be a banker. I'm based here in New Zealand. Okay, I'm a Filipino by blood, so born and raised in the Philippines, and I'm very blessed to say yes with this opportunity almost 50 days ago, because right now, our team, our organization has rocked up almost six-figure network volume, and at the same time, it has now surpassed my daily wage, daily income at work. So how much I'm making in ARBCORE is now what I'm making in my job right now. So truthfully, guys, you all you have to be is just say yes to this last question. Are you open to learning how to create an extra stream of income? Because an extra stream of income nowadays, guys, is a must, right? People are now driving Ubers, delivering food, ride shares, doing VA, virtual assistant, doing whatsoever. But we have this opportunity right in our hands. And that's what I want to discuss to you. Tonight, guys, okay, tonight, you're about to see an opportunity that might change your life. If we still expect the same results over and over and over again, and we don't change our mindset, we don't change our behavior, we don't change our attitude towards, especially towards money and opportunities, then that's called insanity. We gotta change something. And tonight, we wanna learn, we wanna educate ourselves before we make a decision. Most people say they lose money because they're unlucky, especially with opportunities, they join or they invest in or they start a business with. But then, basically, what we needed to understand is what we call this cash flow quadrant, which I've learned over in the past by Robert Kiyosaki. So that's the main thing, right? Is this what we call the four quadrants? So you've got the E here as employee, S means self-employed, B business owner, and I investor. So basically, guys, what I'm trying to say here is that this is your active phase or active income, in where it's your your presence is more reliable with time. So which means you trade hours for dollars. It's not bad, but then over time, guys, we get older. Our energy is not that much, right? So in here, it's very limited. Now, if you want to be self-employed, you have, instead of working for someone else, you work for your own self. However, over here, guys, is that you still have to trade hours for dollars. Now, most people doesn't jump onto this other quadrant because it requires cash, it requires money. To become a business owner, you need to have capital. To become an investor, you need to have capital. And most people who see such opportunities like this, guys, they couldn't, because they're afraid of change. And you would say, we got to take risk. We got to take risk, anywhere a risk, right? But the best thing about here is that there's only 5% of the population in the world are in these quadrants, because they understand how money works, how leverage works, how system works. So in here, instead of getting stuck here, why don't we get both, best of both worlds? So with ARBCORE, guys, it's a built-in hybrid system in where you could not just be a business owner or investor, but you could be both. In which I really wanted to show to you guys tonight. Okay, so what is trading? Okay, and this is what I really do to my team, that I really make them understand about trading. Most people, they say, oh, it's a scam, oh, people lose money. And that's really true, because people don't understand how it works. If anything, like any subject you go to school, if you don't understand, you fail, right? And same thing goes in the real world. If you don't understand how the business works, how the system works, then you fail, right? Or you lose money. But you can't blame people, because at the end of the day, it's us who makes the decision. Now, tonight I want to tell you more about trading. So trading, guys, is just the act of buying and selling of an asset or commodity to make a profit. So you could trade Forex. I used to, I am a trader. Okay. I earn almost six-figure a year of trading Forex, gold, and stuff like that. Crypto, we have got cryptocurrencies as well, stocks and indices. Okay. So these are the three different types of markets. So you've got the financial market, so Forex market, you've got the cryptocurrency market, you've got the stock market. So with Forex, it means foreign exchange. Okay. It's making $7.5 trillion daily. That's the reason why 10 plus million people are involved with it, because it's so flexible. You don't have to sell anything. You just have to learn it. However, it takes years of experience to learn it, right? Now we have the cryptocurrency. With cryptocurrency, you've got like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, USDT, and many more assets and coins out there and tokens, right? And it is a global form of accepted payment. And it's getting huge. It's just been what, 2 decades yet? Right? And then we have the stock market, and where you could also go diversify. And this is what I love people telling about: diversify. Don't just put all of your eggs in one basket, right? So you've got a stock market in where you could buy shares from companies like Nvidia, Google, Apple, any companies out there, privately owned, NASDAQ, and stuff like that. But tonight, guys, I want to share why you should really take a serious look at getting involved in cryptocurrency. Okay, if you still think that cryptocurrency is a bogus pocus, is a sham, like, you gotta think again. Why? It's because in here we create awareness, we create education. Guys, I know this person is very the most He's got a lot going on right now. But last year, okay, forget about what's happening in the world. But last year, July 19th, he just signed the first major federal cryptocurrency bill into law in the US, meaning he wants to legalize cryptocurrency, meaning he's betting on cryptocurrency, which means they hold cryptocurrency, right? So if you would see the top companies over here holding cryptocurrency, you've got Coinbase, BlackRock, Strategy, Binance, Fidelity. Fidelity is one of the biggest investment companies. Even the US government, they hold Bitcoin right now. Chinese government, they hold Bitcoin right now. Guys, don't believe what I say, but take a look at the news. Take a look at what people are buying. These people are already rich. These people are already powerful, right? But they still bet on Bitcoin. They hold Bitcoin right now. So with that being said, why wouldn't I? Right? Why wouldn't we? Okay? We only just need a community and mentors and coaches to guide us in a different path with a system. Now, in any type of financial market, there are different types of trading strategies. Most people will ask, what are the risks? Because most people, only think about rewards. But let's take a look at the risk. I don't know you guys, but I don't know about you, but maybe you've heard about spot trading. What is spot trading? Spot trading is where you buy an asset in a low price, wait for the asset to go up to a higher price. So for example, you bought Bitcoin in 70,000 and then you wait for it to rise. However, guys, that could also experience massive drawdown, which means it gives us stress and might give us heart attack, especially if the price goes down. So which means it's saying that spot trading can be very dangerous. Spot trading can be very risky. Now, when you talk about futures trading means that you actively buy and sell using your trading platform. You could trade in Binance, you could trade in futures in Mexi, you could trade in MetaTrader 5, use different types of brokers. However, there is a high chance of liquidation. I don't know if you have heard about a month ago, gold against US dollar dropped and wiped out $1 trillion just like that, right? So futures trading is very, very risky as well. Now, how about arbitrage? When I have heard about this almost 55 days ago, I was like, oh my goodness, why haven't I learned about this in the past? Why? Because the type of strategy that arbitrage does is very low risk. Because what you do is you just buy an asset on a cheaper price in an exchange and then sell it in a different exchange for a higher price. So I would say I've tried spot trading, I've tried futures, and when I went on arbitrage, I believe it's the best. So what is crypto arbitrage? Crypto arbitrage is a trading strategy that profits from price differences, exploiting, the difference of price. So as an arbitrage trader, you buy where the price is lower and then sell where the price is higher, capturing the difference. Now, I'll give you a visual example so you guys can really see. Now, if you guys haven't had any crypto experience, you haven't bought any crypto assets just yet, think about this as an online shop, okay? Think about this like you're doing online shopping in a place, okay? You may have experience buying stuff in AliExpress or Amazon and stuff like that, right? So think about BitGet like Amazon, and you bought some goods there for a cheaper price. And then now think about Binance as another online shop that you could resell it there for a higher price. So in BitGet, it's a name of an exchange in where you could buy Bitcoin. So over here, Bitcoin was trading 66,988. And then with Binance, you could sell, because they're selling it for this price, okay, in Binance, then you could sell it over there at that price. So the difference is the profit. That easy, that simple. And I was like, man, it doesn't even require price difference. So people nowadays, as a trader, people really lose money in trading. But it depends with what type of strategy. Now, if you're smart, would you rather go with the high risk, high reward strategy or low risk but high reward? I would rather go with low risk but high reward, which is arbitrage. A lot of people are losing money because they rely heavily on prediction. What does prediction mean? They predict if it's going up or down. That's too risky. And most people are emotional. They revenge trade, okay? And they lie to themselves, right? No, it's gonna go up. No, it's gonna go up. But even seeing the price going down, right? So over here, they also rely on market direction. But take a look at this. With arbitrage, it's different. It's very market neutral. It doesn't care if Bitcoin is going up or down, because what we do is we just generate Bitcoin by doing buy and sell from one place to another. So we don't have that liquidation risk and no less emotional stress, which is great, right? So even these companies, guys, I don't know about you, but I've been reading a lot, especially if you really want in and you're serious with the financial markets. If you've heard about Binance Academy, go search it in Google. Every information is in Google. Okay, Binance Academy, they talk about arbitrage trading. Guys, there's a full section that teaches people how to do arbitrage trading. Okay, even Investopedia. If you don't know Investopedia, man, a lot of people has been reading this, because this is where they read about news, financial news. Because when you're aware about financial news, it moves the market. That's what we call fundamental analysis. You've got investing, banking, etc. But you know what? In this website, they also talk about arbitrage trading. Now, coinmarketcap.com. Who's using coinmarketcap.com? Most of us crypto traders, we use coinmarketcap.com. Okay? Over here, guys, take a look at this. It has even been talked or created 4 years ago. So which means this company or this website, coinmarketcap.com, are already teaching people how to trade arbitrage strategy. Okay, so in saying that, you could be able to trade manually with arbitrage, but take a look at this, guys. You have to deal with a lot of scanning of exchanges. You gotta look for where's the price that is a cheaper cost, where's the price with the highest cost, because that's where you buy and sell. So if you would see a list of exchanges, it goes up to 200 exchanges out there. I just list up to 13. But imagine, okay, you have to look at Binance, you have to look at Coinbase, you have, because you're gonna get crazy looking where's the cheapest price of this asset, where's the highest price in this asset. So manually, it could be daunting, it could be very complex, okay, because you needed speed and accuracy. You needed to be quick, because you gotta buy and sell really fast. And at the same time, we have some transfer delays, exchange fees and costs, and required a huge capital upfront if you do it manually. Now, we are so blessed, guys. Okay, we are so blessed that we have been introduced to ARBCORE. Because why? It has been simplified. Okay, now ARBCORE just started October 25th last year, but just fully launched this year, January 15th. So with FGen 11, all praise to him, because he's such a smart guy with huge background in Web3 and so many technicalities, and he kept it simple for us people. Okay, that we don't need to scan the market, because he created what we call an automated scanner. Okay, automated market scanner, which means it scans all exchanges to find out where's the cheapest price to sell on the exchange with the highest price. Does that make sense? Oh, absolutely. I would love to share my presentation. Absolutely. Okay. So the market scanner, guys, you're just gonna go into the Bahamas and just sit down, because everything done for us, right? So that's the first feature. We have an automated market scanner. Second feature, guys, is that how many of you guys have used ChatGPT? Okay, with ChatGPT, it wouldn't work if you don't instruct ChatGPT to do something. So for, let's say, for example, for myself, I want to look for a new job. Okay, I want to edit my CV or curriculum vitae. So I gotta put my CV in ChatGPT, but I'm gonna put an instruction. Hey, can you edit my CV? Can you edit this? Blah blah blah. Can you add skills? So with AI, guys, it wouldn't do something if you don't instruct it to do something. So with AI, with our ARBCORE company, they instructed our AI that to only execute verifiable, profitable trades. What this means is that it's just going to execute trades if it can scan that it's a profitable trade. Because in doing arbitrage, you have costs. What cost is that? You have exchange costs, transfer fees, you have gas fees, you have those type of costs. And that's why we have spreads as well. So because in every exchange have different spreads. Now, if our AI detects that your costs are higher than your profit, it wouldn't execute that. Because why? Because ARBCORE, ARBCORE makes sure that they could protect the capital of the people, which I really love. Because why? This capital is from hard worked money, right? And the best thing about this, guys, is you have an access to a capital pool, which means you don't have to have a very huge capital, okay? But it depends on your risk and reward appetite, okay? So thinking about that, guys, we have this background over here. Most people say, "Oh, is this company legal?" Okay, maybe this company is gonna be a scam or sham, or it could be lost in a few months. I would say, think of what you think. But for me, even how legal your company is, if it couldn't show how transparent your trades are, your execution are, then you don't have proof. But with ARBCORE, guys, we have what we call a TXID, a transaction ID. So in which you could be able to check if these trades are legit, are verifiable, in which you could always be, feel free to ask the person who brought you tonight and check it. So can I just demonstrate over here tonight, guys? How do I check it? So I'm just gonna show my back office right now, okay? Because I want to be concise, guys. I really want to show you that I'm not gaining out of any profit from here. Like, this is how we just want to share and educate people, right? So don't mind my capital. I know we have our coaches, some of our coaches here with a huge capital. So over here, you would see here, what is it doing? So that's the 50,000 pool, and that is doing arbitrage trading within Qcoin to Gate. Okay. Okay, so these are the two exchanges that I was talking a while ago. So over here, it's exchanging from USDT, okay, to Solana, and then back to USDT. So over here, guys, this is your transaction, history of transactions. So if you would go here, there's some that's loading, but you would see our transaction ID. What does transaction ID, for those who doesn't know? These are what you call your invoices. So for example, in the bank, if you send money or if you pay someone else, you would leave a transaction history, right? A transaction history in your bank. So this is what it does. Because why? It posts these transactions in the blockchain. So it want to show the public that there's a transaction that happened. So let's randomly check any transaction over here. So if you can see here, guys, I'm gonna put that up right there. So this one was done March 27 at 6:39 a.m. So I'm gonna click that one. So over here, it says confirm transaction, 30,000 USDT sent to Mexi. So what I do is that I click that one, and then this part of the link, guys, is what you call your transaction hash. When you say hash, there's a registered hash per transaction that is being done in the blockchain. Okay, so since our transaction is happening in Ton Viewer blockchain, so we're going to the Ton Viewer official blockchain. See, can you see in here, guys? It says Ton Explore blockchain analysis. Okay, and this is live. Okay, so which means this is where people registers their transactions. So anything happens with transactions of movement of USDT within the blockchain from any wallets, it gets registered over here. It leaves an address. So put our hash there, and let's click find. Okay, let's click find. See, what does it go out? It goes out with a confirmed transaction, which is registered in our back office. Now, with going back with ARBCORE, this is just the best company that I've seen with the most transparent way of doing business. Because why? If you check in here, guys, here in streaming, we are about to launch streaming. And if you haven't seen a company that would expose their transaction history, ARBCORE is the one. They're gonna post this live. You could see the exchange, the arbitrage trading live. So you could click the link over here from Qcoin. But for now, it will be coming soon. But it is exciting. Okay. So, but take a look about this exchanges. So this is a simple way of looking at it, guys. So let's say, for example, I change the asset to Solana because that's where we compare do the arbitrating from USDT to Solana and then Solana to USDT. So if you could see here, guys, the exchange, this is the name of exchanges. This is the price of buy trade. This is your fee. This is the sell price of your trade and then the selling fee. So the difference of that is your profit. And this is what's happening every single time that we do the crypto arbitrage trading. Yeah. So that's what's exciting about coming soon with ARBCORE. Now, back then when I first got started, we only start with one asset. If up to now, guys, it's still with one asset, I'm going to leave the company. Which means in a business perspective, the company hasn't grown. But over just a couple of days or months, they have opened different assets. And now we are what? 6 assets in total, right? And we're opening more assets. Isn't that crazy? So, which means the company is expanding. Okay, so this is just a summary of the assets that we have. So with USDT, your minimum is 50 US dollar. So I challenge people to even put as low as 50 and see and observe how it goes. And then you could put as much as you can. You know, I'm not pushing people to put, their life savings away, but I just get people to where they are, So minimum withdrawal is 10. And then the daily target return is this much. But at the moment, we have Bitcoin is really performing well at around 2 to 7%. So if you could see this, guys, over here in our back office, okay, profitability percentage. So you would see this real time, which means that's the real assets are happening right now. Bitcoin, guys, is happening at 4.64%. Now, let me talk about this extra bit over here. This is our ARB Pro. So you've got, if you're a whale or you've got more assets, you're holding crypto, then you have over 100,000 in assets, then they give you a special rate in there. But you go back to the person who's invited you here tonight, guys. So I'm just sharing an overview. So let's talk about this. You purchase smart contracts, okay? With that smart contract, you earn at least an average 1% daily, average, okay? Up to 250% return. So for example, if you started with $50, it's going to give you 50 cents. Is that much? No, it's not, right? But if let's say you start with $1,000, that's around $10. So if you put in 2,500, that's $25. So that's 250% returns depending on how quick or how fast our performance is daily. But the 250% returns is definite. Okay, so 100% for your return of investment or your capital, then 150% on profit. Now, looking at it, guys, I always compare it to the bank because I used to be a banker. So if I put $1,000 with my smart contract, I'm making $10 daily. As if, guys, take note, as if I put 120,000 in my bank at 3% per annum. Now, I always challenge myself, which is better? To put 120,000 in my bank or 1,000 working for me, right? I would choose rather with ARBCORE. Okay. So over here, last February, if you joined or if you partnered with us last February, from Feb 1 to Feb 28, it has reached 31.59%, which means if you put $100, you made $31.59. If you put 1,000, you have made $315. Let's say if you put in 10,000, that's $3,159 for that month. Now, how are we looking here in the month of March? Isn't this crazy, guys? For people who haven't started and they wish they have started earlier, days are running, guys. If you're still doubting, days are running. People just keep winning over here. So from March 1 to 21, we had a spanking total of 24% returns just with USDT alone. I'm just talking about one asset. That's just one asset. If I talk about all the assets, we will run out of time, okay? So for example, just in March alone, up to date, okay, if you put in $1,000, that's already, you've made already $240 hands-free, automation, set and forget, and just, set it to auto withdrawal, because we have that feature as well. Now, if you've got a 10,000 in there, you've already made 2,400 just for the month alone. Now, the best thing I love about this company is not just about transparency, but commitment. So they are committed, guys, okay, to have this 30 days worry-free, 100% capital guaranteed cashback. Now, if the client has now we have this early termination, section in where the client has the right after 30 days to terminate the trading contract early and withdraw the remaining asset. What does that mean? So which means if I've got $1,000, I put it in there, after 30 days, it made $300 and I want to stop, okay, I get the remaining capital, which is 700, which means that the company can just give the money back, okay, a total of 100% back. But if within the 30 days, just like any other banks with term deposit, they charge you with a break fee or admin cost, right? So, but over here, we've got the 30 days worry-free, okay? Now, tonight, I just want to share as well an amazing story with myself. And then I could ask with Coach Chad. Well, basically, I've been with ARBCORE for over 55 days, and I've tested this first. I don't want to share it to others if I haven't trialed it myself. And this is how the company built the business. It's through word of mouth. It's through affiliate programs. Now, if you know any other companies who invest heavily on advertisement or marketing costs, no, they don't do that anymore. Look at Uber, look at Netflix, look at Google, look at Apple. They have this referral programs, guys. That's old school in promoting in TV, in social media. What we do right here is we have this referral program, affiliate program, because we want to use real people with real results that creates real income, right? If you're the person that you haven't earned yet and you're sharing, it doesn't work. You gotta experience ARBCORE yourself. You gotta be ARBCORE-fied, So if you want to build a business, we have this partner program, okay? This partner program is optional, but not essential, okay? Reminder, this ARBCORE program is optional, not essential. Now, there's a lot of companies out there, guys, that they rely heavily on referral program, which means that the money is just turning around in the ecosystem. But in ARBCORE, we focused on the service, we focused on the product, which is the arbitrage automation trading. Even you sign people up or not, you're still gonna make money, right? Okay, but what if you build this business? Because why? It's still what? How many days old? It's still like three months old officially, right? And people needs to know and learn about this, especially with the high rising cost of living right now. So who wouldn't like an extra stream of income? Now, how does this partner referral program work? You earn 5%, guys. 5%, not 3%, not 1%, but 5%. So every 5%, every person who deposits, okay, you get a 5% extra bonus. So let's say, for example, a friend of mine deposited, okay, $100. Let's say $100. You come in where you fit in, okay, observe, and then you deposit later on, okay. So I get $5 bonus because that's 5%, but not to deduct from deposit, but as a reward from the company. Now, what if I've got another friend with $500? So that's 5%, that's $25 bonus. Now, if that friend of mine did a top up, I get an extra 5% as well. Okay, so every top ups your referral does, okay, because they like the system, they want to put more, they build the trust, they build that confidence, then you get that 5% rolled over with every top up they get, which is amazing because it goes unlimited, right? Now, let me talk about this network volume. When you talk about this network volume, which means you're wanting to become a leader, because in becoming a leader, it pays you this much. It is what I call a leadership matching bonus. Because with network volume, as your team grows, as your customer grows, you get 10% match for every 1% profit that they make for every arbitrage profits that they get. Okay, sorry guys, I think it I'm just too excited that it it freeze. So anyway, there you go. So imagine by building your team, building your customers, you get another passive way of income by earning 10% of their 1%. So for example, guys, okay, you made 5,000 network volume total. Okay, the 1% of that is $50 network profit. Now you get a match of 10% of that network profit. Now, taking a look at this, if you would have a look at this, these people, guys, okay, these people or this type of compensation plan is what we call a 2x2 matrix, which means it doesn't rely heavily on putting a left or right. We have an AI system that signs people up, that positions people, positions people in your first level, in your second level, and third level. It doesn't open a new level, not unless it completes that level, okay? So which means over here, you just position yourself just by saying yes, you will have what we call a spillover, potentially, okay? But if you want to grow your business like Coach Chad's and Coach, Mentor Vlad and many of our platinum and diamond partners over here, then you gotta build it, right? Over here, guys, it's not free. That's the reason why I call it a leadership matching bonus. You gotta be a leader. You gotta step up the rank. You gotta be a bronze rank. So for example, here, how do I become a bronze rank fan? So for here, with a bronze rank, you need to have at least a $250 US dollar deposit, USDT deposit, with at least two signups with a total $500 deposits. Okay, now this $250, guys, you don't pay it to the company. That is your trading volume, which means you're earning from that as well. But then you're positioning yourself to bronze, which means you're unlocking yourself up to 3 levels deep. Okay, which means you're going to get a total max of 14 partners with 10% of their 1% profit. Now, let me give you a situation. What if over time your number of partners increases to 100? Okay, and you're still bronze. You could only get a match to 14 people up to level 3. So that's the reason why you got to go up the rank, which means you got to go up to silver, which means you got to add your top up, add your total deposits, so then you could unlock this maximum partners. Does that make sense? Well, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so what I love about this is also cashback. Isn't that crazy that you get rewarded of your hard work? And I know some of our partners over here have already huge cashback. But let me tell you, if you have reached 1,000 total of network volume, you unlock $20 bonus. Now, if you unlock 2,500, you get an accumulative $50 in total. 5,000, a total of 100, so forth and so on. And we would have the honors to maybe be inspired with the back office of Mentor Vlad later on. The best thing about this, guys, is that by just building your business with the partner program, you don't realize that you could get to have a holiday for free. In my job, I work the most. I work the most hours, but I don't get a holiday for free. Okay, and here with ARBCORE, if you're the hardest worker, which means if you're able to sign up 50,000 worth of deposits from today until July, okay, you get to have an all expense paid free trip, okay, with your airfare, hotel, excursions, and all activities. And we have some mentors over here, coaches, or partners over here who has experienced their first international travel, and I would love them to share as well later on. Okay, so in hindsight, guys, in summary, the heart of our company is our passive arbitrage trading. And I tell you, this is just optional, but not essential. Okay, if you want to build the partner program. But let me tell you guys, we need leaders who can advocate for us and cross the message to many people out there what opportunity and can help people about. So if you want to start, go back to the person who's introduced you with this. Okay, just sign up with their link, top up, and then click activate. That's it. Guys, before I end this presentation, think about when you got first introduced to Bitcoin. Imagine if you first bought Bitcoin at the very lowest price, and now look at where Bitcoin is right now. Okay? Or let's say you were one of the first ones who bought Apple stocks for $1,000 back then in what, in year 2000 or 1990s. Right now, the value of your Apple stocks could have been $500,000. Okay? But you said a no, or maybe the opportunity wasn't right. You know what? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Same like many other opportunities that crossed our paths. The second best time is now. It's never too late, guys. Because, like what Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. What opportunity out there will give you such blessing like ARBCORE does? Don't miss this first waves of pioneers, guys. Position yourselves. Position yourselves because you'll thank yourselves later, right? When you join now, you'll be here. But when you join later, it's okay. You'll still be there, part of the tree, but you could have been here on top of everyone else. So, like Jack Ma, I don't know if you know this. He's the CEO of AliExpress, Alibaba. He said, "Don't try to be the best. Just be the first." Okay, so I think that's just it for me right now, Coach Chad. Oh, sorry. Lastly, you never know how close you are. Most people has been tired, has been hurt with so many opportunities that have crossed their paths and lost money big time. Okay, and some of us may be feeling this kind of way. Oh no, not again. Oh no, another opportunity. I might lose some money again. But you know what? Never give up because all you need is just that one big win to wipe out all those losses. Now, what if you're this person? Because you never know how close you are. Don't be this person. You're already almost there, but you just gave up. Now, what if ARBCORE is what it truly delivers? In which it has delivered and changed a lot of people's lives in just a short span of time. So thank you guys. I hope you were able to learn something new, and I'll pass it to Coach Chad and do the honors to introduce as well our mentors, mentor Vlad as well.
My God. One regret that I have right now, everyone, is we are not in one room to hear how loud our applause is for Coach Van. So thank you so much for that very wonderful presentation. You never fail to amaze everybody. I see here in the chat room, chat box that a lot of people are applauding you. They are very appreciative. They're very glad that they're here. You know, that's what I always tell them. Um, we leaders, we don't just guide, lead our people or our partners, our teammates. No, what we do is we make things easy for them to understand. When I first saw the presentation of ARBCORE, for a normal guy, their nose will bleed. Okay, their noses will bleed. They won't understand all the terms, a lot of jargons. What this guy over here did, a young Filipino guy, a nurse, he did the impossible, made it possible. Okay, he did one of the best presentations, and you guys are 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 the proof that this presentation is one of the best. I like how he dummied it down, you know, how he leveled the playing field so that everybody in here will be able to understand how ARBCORE is. It will be now easier for everybody who is in this presentation to join and talk about ARBCORE to their friends, their family, to their colleagues, to whoever they want to talk about ARBCORE or discuss ARBCORE. This presentation is simply amazing. And without further ado, we have here a very, very important person. This person changed my life. This person changed Van's life. This person changed everybody's life here. He's one of the great leaders that I respect. a very kind-hearted person. This guy is a tree. If you've seen the movie Avengers, he's Groot. He's very tall. He's a gentle giant, making, we don't know how much he's making, but I'm sure what he's making is a blessing to himself and to his family. So without further ado, let me bring in Vladislav Stefanov, the man, the myth, and the legend.
Hey guys, hey Chad, thank you again for the amazing introduction and for the kind words. And wow, guys, what an amazing presentation that we had. Guys, if you enjoyed this presentation and you want more of this presentation to come up every week, comment below, guys. Give some hard love and appreciation to Coach Van. Um, I was listening it from the beginning to the end, and wow, what a great presenter that we have. Such a talented and yeah, guys, I really loved it, and I really love how Coach Van is keeping it. Keep it. We call it. One of my mentors. Keep it stupid simple, so you could explain it. A 5 years old kid could understand it. I don't like complicate things, and I don't like to overcomplicate things. But yes, guys, um every day people are texting me and are like and sending me messages of gratitude and saying, Vlad, you changed my life. And it's truly this is what motivates me, to move one step further, to move one step higher, to grow together, to develop together, to win together. Because one of the great legends, Zig Ziglar said, help enough people to get what they want, change more people's lives, and you'll get eventually what you want. With our core, we can change so many lives, guys. I, I'm scared to think about, I am getting goosebumps how many lives we will change, and any impact. We're already doing it. Thanks to Chad, our top leader, very honorable, from Philippines, for inviting me today here. Thanks to Coach Van, um, very humble, very professional, very good-hearted leaders. This is the people that I choose, to work, move forward, and grow, guys. So please go back to the person who invited you today to this Zoom presentation and ask them for for sign up link. Like uh, Coach Van just said, you know, timing is the most important. It's necessary. So you're in the best time, the best place with the best team. So welcome on board, guys. Welcome to ARBCORE. Um I feel like really blessed to be here today with you, and I wish you much blessings, many blessings to you and your families, with ARBCORE and in general, guys. Feel the spirit, guys. Feel the vibe. Feel the energy. Energy, vibe, spirit never lie. Okay, so we have something special. So I want you to respect what we have, and really show appreciation and gratitude. Thank you for having me, guys. I wouldn't hold more, of your time. If you have some time to answer some questions, or we'll do it next time. Guys, God bless you, everyone. And I want to see you as many, I want to see you, everyone, in Montenegro or in our next event. Okay? I see you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Van. Vlad, rather. Thank you so much for that kind words. This guy is very simple. I've been with this guy, Vlad, in Thailand. I joined Arcor last January 20. I studied the platform. One of the best things that a businessman can do is to study the business, okay, and take that leap of faith. I always share this to my team and to the prospects that I talk to. Um, when you understand something and all your questions are satisfied, you have to push the pedal to the metal. What does that mean? Bring it your best. Okay. Uh, the airplane, when it takes off, it doesn't start with the first gear, doesn't start with the second gear, third gear, all the way to the fourth gear. It goes full throttle, right? So that's how I do business. When I see something, when I study it and my questions are satisfied, I just go all in. Okay, and I never regretted joining Arbcore. 65, 66 days later, we're already earning 6, 7 figures. We are already at almost 5 million in volume. And the team of Vlad, one of the best teams composed of several cultures, predominantly from the Southeast Asia. We are fortunate that we don't have Dr. John David here, one of the best mentors that I've encountered. He also has his own presentation, very, very informative presentation. This guy, he digested ARBCORE. He digested ARBCORE, studied it, and also made it simple. Okay, so take time to study the business, take time to understand its compensation plan so that you can strategize and reach your ROI aside from positioning yourself. Blood is right. Arbcore is a blessing, and I believe everybody who's experienced Arbcore can agree to myself to what I just said. I see here familiar faces that I met in Thailand. After the first offline event in Thailand, I am 90% confident about Arbcore. Okay, I see here, let me just say a few names here. I see here George Hoagland. I see here George Hoagland. He made a wonderful presentation in Thailand. Thank you so much for your time. He educated uh the audience, the participants. I like his energy. I like his wisdom. He's a senior in the network marketing industry, but when you see him talk, he's like a 20, 30-year old. Okay, so this guy is a legend in network marketing in the US. Um, um, uh, some other faces I see here. I hope I see good friend, brother Vinod, Chandra. Who else? Some people from the Philippines, Alan, yeah, Ma'am Salvi. Make some noise. Yeah, my only regret is I'm not we're not in the same room. We're not in the same room to feel our energy. We're not in the same room to network, to fellowship, and share our stories in ARBCore. So I'm lost for words. This company is simply amazing. I've been involved in a lot of platforms, and I think this is the end game. I think this is the end game. I'm manifesting this is the end game of network marketing platforms. But then again, I don't want to conclude, but I think we're going there. I think we're going there. I don't want to be too optimistic, but what I'm seeing in ARPCore, the developments, uh, not only for the company itself, but the developments for everybody is simply amazing. It's incredible. Um, the word is epic. The word is epic for ARPCore, and I'm so blessed. Hopefully, for those people who are not yet members of ARPCore, please go back to your upline. Um, uh, get that link and start positioning. Start positioning in ARPCore. Yeah. Let me go back to Coach Van for closing. Uh, or maybe we can open the floor for questions. Maybe a few questions before we end this presentation. Let's do this systematically, okay? If you have questions, go ahead and raise